Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Unity. I'm your host, Maximilian with Moreau, and with me is Eric Fredrickson, who will be standing in for Phil's lofty shoes today.
Hey, buddies.
So Eric's a buddy of mine from Sony and from other things, and he's a cool dude, and hopefully he will prove entertaining over the course of the night. Actually, not hopefully, he will.
I like turtles.
There you go. And hopefully Phil won't be too jealous down in sunny California where he's at. So
He's busy with some beaches and whatnot, so I'm filling the Phil shoes, if you will.
Filling Phil's shoes.
Indeed.
All right. So let's get to the screen. So today, what are we doing today? So we've had a couple people ask about kind of how to generate your texture sprite sheets in the first place, and so I want to cover that a little bit, even though that's not really Unity related. But there's a free tool called TexturePacker that's really good. It's actually not a free tool; you can buy it as well, but the free portion of it will be sufficient for what we need to do tonight. And it's a really great tool for doing sprite atlasing and sprite packing and stuff. If you don't have like 2D Toolkit or if you don't have Unity Pro to do the Pro features. So we'll probably be covering that a little bit.
I know this sounds silly and dumb, but does that actually create your particles in your 2D world?
It creates your characters in your 2D world.
Oh,
so
okay,
so
cool.
basically, like we have a sprite sheet example right now from this free pack that I got off of Open Game Art.
Ooh, free zones.
And so we have these sprite sheets that are already generated, and we also have the individual pieces as well. So I can show you.
Awesome.
We're going to use these as a little test case for TexturePacker, because a lot of times you'll have art that's in kind of an individually set up case like this, and then you'll want to actually bring it into a sprite sheet so that you don't have to have a whole bunch of separate textured things in. And TexturePacker makes that super easy. And actually, let's just cover that real quick right now, because it's pretty simple. So I've got the download link in the description for TexturePacker, or at least the link to their main site, and just download it. As I said, it has a pay component, but the free component works just what we need for right now. So we're going to just do the use light free version, and all you need to do to make a atlas using this. Is to just drag in a folder of the files that you want in the atlas. So this is the wrong folder. Public domain sprites. Here we go. So like if we go to P1 walk, we've got a few different dude sprites. So I'm just going to click and drag all of these into here.
Oh, that's
And
easy.
it's instant. Like you can see that this thing has already worked. And so by default, it does a lot of little fancy things that we don't actually need. First of all, we don't want it to rotate automatically, because then we have to worry about fixing the orientation in Unity and stuff. So we're going to basically simplify what this does a lot. We don't need trim, so we're going to turn that to none. And additionally, trim mode, if you do anything other than none, you need the pay version of the software. And we don't need... what is it? So
A couple of the guys were wondering if there's a little bit more of advanced style, maybe, to do some things to get into a little bit more complicated animation, like doing wall hangs and climbs, possibly. Mythos 56 was wondering.
maybe we might cover something like that. Right now, we're not going to. The main reason is I don't have an artist. So I mean, like, if I can find a good sprite pack that has a lot of animations, we'll hook up whatever seems appropriate to hook up. All these things are, I mean, a lot of those things are kind of game specific how you handle it, but I can show you some best practices for setting that up. Here we go. Allow rotation. We turn this off. Bam. Now we have a sprite sheet that is all happy. And by default, it's already set for Power of 2, so that's great for Unity. And so we can just hit save. And actually, wait, cancel. So there's a format in here. We actually don't care about the data format at all. I'm curious what Unity 3D actually gives us for a format. Huh. I don't know. Whatever. So none and no, don't allow rotation. And so let's save this out. And I'm just going to save this on the desktop as test. Test TPS. Can't save. All right, well, hold on a second here. Just going to do generic XML because this is just for the data file. We're not even going to be using the data file. We just care about the image. Don't want trim. So save. Oh, I see. Publish. How about publish? There we go. Test. You're using TexturePacker in light mode. You're using some advanced features. We'll cover red. Advanced algorithm max rec. So we don't need that. So we want algorithm just to be basic. Let's do that again. Publish. There we go.
Yeah.
So don't save. And so now we have this test PNG that's all set up for us. And we can throw this into Unity. Because we're in 2D mode, it will automatically show up as a sprite. And then we just choose multiple. Sprite editor. We've got the sprite sheet that's all generated for us, and we can slice it, and now Unity can use each of these sprites as how they're intended. And there's, as I said, there's a lot you can do with TexturePacker, and if you have, if you pay for the full version, there's even more things you can do. But most of them are things that you need to have extra data to work with, and that's why it generates an XML file. So like if you look at the XML file, all this is just like the width and height of each of the sprites so that you can import them if you didn't know this stuff. But what we're relying on is Unity can automatically find that just by looking for the white spaces between the characters. You can even set the white space to 0, and then you can actually just set the size in the sprite editor, just having them be uniform sprites. But I just want to show you that as a quick and dirty way of getting a sprite sheet together if you have a whole bunch of individual elements and you want them all in the same sprite sheet. So what else to do today? So we have a couple of folks who have been concerned about us using cubes and wants to kind of know more how to set things up for like a tile-based game. And I mean, the concept is exactly the same. And I mean, like we already have a basic tile here, kind of. It's just that we happen to have physics enabled on it, and it's this little guy here that I'm pushing around. But we can make a whole level with things like that. We can just if we look at our cube here, our tile sprite sheet 0.
I love how that always looks like a old school Nintendo Power Map.
Yeah. When you zoom out,
you can zoom in and out, and it's just it's consistent.
Yeah, exactly. So we have this little guy here, and so if you wanted to make, say, a level out of this, your best bet is to probably set up in your preferences a snapping system. So I think it's in here, or is it actually somewhere else? It's probably somewhere else. Yeah, it's somewhere else. Project settings. Editor, is that where it is? Can't even find it. Where is the Unity Snap Tools?
Let's Google them stuffs.
Settings.
Yeah. I love the internet.
Edit snap settings. It's just, it's at the bottom here. Okay, should have seen that. So by default it's set to 111, which actually can work for us, and I think we're already set up to work with it. So if we look at our one of these little cube dudes that we just made, the tile spreadsheet, I did 70 units pixel ratio. Let's find out what it actually is. So like if we look at one of these guys, yep, they're 70 by 70. So a few of them are slightly smaller, but the ones that don't have the extra alpha on the side are 70 by 70. So these are already set up to be 1 unit, which is perfect for snapping. So if we set one of these to just the origin at 0, 0, 0, so we have a place to start from, and say we wanted to build out a level, we could, if we needed a platform, we could just duplicate this. So I'm just doing Command D once it's selected, and then we can Command drag. And if you do that, you get this nice snapping capability. And so we can just drag it out there and then duplicate it again and then drag it out. And then we can just like select all 3 of them, duplicate that, drag it out. And And you can see how you can quickly start building a level based on this stuff. Now, these guys... okay, I did something... I missed a step that's really important. We should have based this on a prefab. We didn't do that. This is just a whole bunch of sprites. And so if we edit one of them, we lose some information. So let me just restart this. Sorry about this, guys. Delete. Whoops, that's duplicate. Undo and command delete. There we go. So let's actually set one of these up as a prefab first. So we have this. We're going to call this a exclamation point tile, because I don't have a better description for it at the moment. And we're going to set this thing to have a... It's going to need a collider. So we're going to do physics 2D, box collider 2D. And then we're going to actually make it into a prefab. So do we have a prefab folder? No, we don't. So I'm going to create a new folder called prefabs. And we're going to put our exclamation point tile into prefabs. And so now, the reason this is important is because if we didn't have it set up as a prefab and we just started duplicating it, if we needed to make a change to all of them, which we were going to need to do because we needed to give them a collider, you would have to find them all in the scene and collectively change them. Now, if you need to change the properties of all these blocks everywhere, all you have to do is just change the prefab and all of them change. You can still manually edit aspects of them as well. I don't recommend doing it too much, but like if you need a special case, you can always create a special case and it's not going to limit you in that way. So let's duplicate, hold command, and move. And if you're on Windows, hold control. Sorry, I didn't specify that, but yeah, it's just whatever the appropriate key for doing commands on your particular operating system. The other thing that's a caveat that you'll want to remember is you can't enter snap mode once you've started dragging it without it. So like if I'd start dragging this around and then hold command, oh, they fixed that.
Worked?
High five!
Nice, dude. No
Thank
kidding?
you, Unity. You fixed something.
It actually snapped to it too.
Because in the old days when you did that, it stopped working entirely. But now it seems to just work. So that's awesome.
It's getting better.
So we can just duplicate these, drag these out.
Games. I'm gonna load logo.
And I'm just gonna hit play, so you can see that these operate the way that we.
Whoop.
That was my control key. Sorry. Oh, I made it just too.
Just,
we'll have to. Okay,
it's
It's a puzzle.
Give it a
It's
duck.
a puzzle. There we go. Yeah, we just made a puzzle, and okay.
Are
So
you
the reason
sliding on this?
the reason we're sliding is because we forgot something else. And so again, let's look at our prefab here, and let's make sure this tagged as or is it the layer that we need? I think it's ground. So if it's the layer ground, or is it a tag? Yeah, it's layer ground. There we go. So that fixed that problem. So now he knows that that's ground, and he should stop doing his jump animation when he lands on it. We made a puzzle game accidentally. But so the process for doing this is just identical, as I said. It's just instead of working with a long group of units, you're working with one unit, and you're not incurring, or at least you shouldn't be incurring any additional draw calls. These should actually be batching very nicely. So like if we scroll these off of the screen, we should see that the batching goes down because these things are actually batching. So, which is nice. But yeah, so setting these up as in this way is simple. And if you need to do something like moving platform, I'm going to show you how to do that real quick.
Hey, I think Christopher was saying some neat things too about adding effects, and I don't want 100% because I haven't actually used this particular tool that much. He was talking about adding some extra.
Okay, I think Christopher's talking about the TexturePacker. There's a Unity Asset Store plugin that actually supports it supports one of the output formats. So if you have one of these output formats, it'll read the extra data in. I tried it a while ago and I didn't actually like it that much, but I talked with the guy who made it, and I think he has improved it since the last time I worked on it, because I talked to him about how I'd love to have trimming support.
Sounds kind of data
and
expensive,
so
I was just curious.
so I have used it, and it does work. It's just it didn't have all the advanced features, and I think he's added some since the last time I used it, so I don't really have a fresh look on how well that is to use.
But it will.
It might be useful in certain cases. I would imagine that in a lot of cases you really don't need that kind of tight integration with TexturePacker. And honestly, if you're like, I'd almost say that it would be better if you're going to be spending money anyway. You might want to look at doing the 2D Toolkit package stuff, because there's a lot of stuff that's built into that
I think so, like
by default. So,
awesome.
You might also potentially want to get Unity Pro. Although I'm going to tell you right now, don't if you
All the
if you
above
think
sound
that you
pretty
need
useful.
Unity Pro. And just for that reason, find a better reason, because there's a lot of good reasons to have Unity Pro, and I would say that texture packing is not the greatest thing, although what they do is really cool, especially if you're making something kind of more new style, like Rayman style art-based platformers where you have really irregular shapes and stuff. The new Unity Collision stuff is really cool when you have the arbitrary kind of angle stuff going on. So let's turn one of these. Let's make another group of these into a moving platform. Actually, let's find a different sprite for a moving platform. Let's just pretend that we're making a game for a moment here. Do we have any tile that I like? Well, let's make the exclamation points a moving platform, and let's make another one that's static, that's made out of these dudes.
Do prefabs help with batching and optimization?
They help in that if an object that's a prefab is batchable, you are guaranteed, well, you should be guaranteed that if you put a whole bunch of them in the scene, they will all batch. Now, if an individual prefab is not batchable, that won't be the case. And if you have two things that aren't prefabs that are using the same textures and same materials, those should batch just fine as well. So it doesn't actually gain you anything other than peace of mind knowing that these objects are the same, and so theoretically they should batch. Ground.
Oh, okay.
So.
No, I just got flashbacks and I was paying for that and a couple other cutscenes.
So I'm going to actually put these exclamation point tiles into a empty game object. We're going to call this. And which one is the center here? Is there a direct center? There's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Let's make it 11 long so that we have a direct center, because I'm just that kind of person. Oops. How do we get on rotation? Oh, it's because we're doing the 2D tools and I was close enough to an angle. So this will now be, we're going to use the position of the center block. We're going to copy the component. We're going to paste it into this game object. And then we're going to drag all these as a child. And we could call this I'm going to call it a moving platform. Slide this over here for a moment. And then we're going to create a similar platform that's going to just be our standard platform. Duplicate. And then duplicate again. Let's bring this back here. We're going to use these as our replacement platforms for our original 3D stuff. Where did you come from? Oh, you were from earlier. Let's just keep this over here so we can have something to play with. And so now if we hit play, all these things. Oh, I'm going to fall through. Yep.
Nice.
So I did this again, like an idiot. Forgot to make a prefab. So, oops. Is there a way I can attach these to a prefab somehow after the fact? I don't think there's... Oh, wait. Select... No. Yeah. Didn't think so. Alright. Remember, make prefabs first, guys. Learn from my mistakes. Learn from them. So this is going to be layer ground. And let's duplicate and just start building out again. Now, people will, of course, ask, is there an easier way to doing this than duplicating objects and dragging in prefabs and stuff? And by default, there's not. That doesn't mean that there's not other ways you could do this. You could even, I know some people who read in files from like Tiled, which is a really good map editor that's more designed for 2D and stuff. Like Unity has 2D support now, And they have some really good features, but they don't really have a good like tile editor. But if you use an external program, you might be able to work with that, though you might have to find importers, either pay for them or write your own, things like that. I'm just going to be dealing with what we can do with base Unity here, and we'll move from there. But yeah, I mean, there are other options, and you could always write your own like editors for Unity as well. We haven't really gotten into that too much in the show, but Unity is very extensible. So now that this is a prefab, you can see we're falling through the ground there. We can actually add our Physics 2D, what is it called, box collider, and then we can additionally. Is there anything else we needed to do? Oh yeah, it was already set to. Oh wait, no, it's not set to ground. So we set it to ground. So now we have our dude, and we can move around. And actually, you can see one of the tricks with this is the objects here theoretically shouldn't have any gaps between them, but they have this kind of little bit of a scintillating gap. And I don't think I'm going to be able to cover that on this episode, but that has to do with the fact that that we're scrolling. And sometimes we're getting stuff that's between the pixels, and it actually is doing a good job of actually showing some of that stuff when we probably don't actually want that behavior. The reason I'm not covering it on this episode is I actually don't know exactly how to solve all the problems regarding it just yet. But that is something that is solvable. So we have our moving platform here, and in theory, we should be able to... I'm actually curious if this is still going to work, because our moving platform thing kind of did assume that the platform was one piece. So let's see what happens if we actually do this. So I'm just going to create an animation for this real quick. We're going to call this block platform move right. And we're going to just start it off snapped to the grid. And it's not snapped very well, is it? Hold on. Let's zero it out and then snap to grid. There we go. And so this will be our initial position. And then we're going to animate it to, I don't know, we'll do 2 seconds, I guess. 3 seconds. What did we do on the other one? Actually, let's do it a different way. Let's do it so that we assume that 1 second is the whole thing, and then we'll adjust the speed on the avatar controller. So so at 1 second, we want it actually in the same position. So we're just going to. I'm just going to move this slightly so that we get a keyframe, and then I could have also probably just double clicked for the keyframe. And then halfway through, we want to actually move it through to the extent of its move, which I'm going to use the snap, and we'll just move it out like that many units. And so now, we don't have any of that data because we were in play mode.
No.
All right.
It's okay. I'm going
to take this opportunity to hit save too. Just why not? And what was that?
I was just thinking that you should move these guys up a little bit, just kind of like how you had them above there. Still have it moving back and forth with that one, but it just gives me kind of
more of a stylized.
Well, the
feels
thing
like
is that if it's
on.
up a little higher, and I still want to hit it like Mario.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
And you have kind of a duck animation just before you get to it, so it kind of adds that little puzzle element to it.
All right. I mean,
I don't know. It
illustrates that we have a little bit more.
I'll explain it more later.
Yeah,
You keep
fine.
going, please. I'm sorry, you're rather enjoying this.
All right, so block platform move right. We already have this. Is there a way I can just ask?
Oh yes, flashbacks for mastering.
I'm just going to copy this so I don't have to type it again and delete this, and then create a new clip. Bam. All right, so I didn't create that clip on anything though. Moving platform. Here we go. Create new clip. Bam.
Awesome.
There we go. There's other ways we could probably have done that, but
that works
done now.
That's all that matters.
So we're going to put transform position on here. That happened automatically because I was moving it about last time. And then, it automatically created a keyframe at the end. That's nice of them. I guess it works slightly different when you do it that way. Weird. So create a new keyframe in the middle, and we'll move it out. to there or something. And so now if we hit play, we'll see this incredibly fast-moving platform.
Please,
No, we
please,
won't.
please.
We will see nothing.
Wait for it. No, you got to get it to go because that's going to be
Moving
awesome.
platform 1. I guess this is what it's using. Oh, that's the problem. So, for some reason, it edited the avatar. Okay, so let's delete this one. Do a little cleanup. Let's call this one moving platform, and then let's call this state block platform move right. And since it's the only state, it should automatically start working this time. So if I hit save scene, save project, and play. There we go. There's our incredibly fast moving platform.
You can land on it. You can do it.
Oh, oh God! I should have gibbed. I should have just blown up into red particles.
Gibbs.
So
Big money.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's cooking. Oh, that just
Sliding
happened.
around a little bit. That's weird.
You are.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of resistance on there.
So our platform code's not perfect, although it's working actually better than I thought it was going to.
That's like extra physics. You didn't even ask for that.
Well, we actually worked really hard for those physics last episode. You have no idea how much work went into that.
I missed that episode.
Yeah.
Oh
Sorry.
my God, that's
it was
awesome.
just like
No, it's
this
in there.
is this is all
It's in
the
there.
platform magic here. So,
A little bit more.
and then a little bit of that too in the bottom, but
Awesome.
yeah, it's not a huge amount of code, but it's code.
No, yeah.
It wasn't free. Let me just put it that way. So now let's actually make this thing move
custom.
at an appropriate speed. So if we go into the moving platform controller
Where's the speed control?
and go into the platform move right here, we can adjust the speed that it plays at. So let's make that 10 times slower. Let's just do 0.1. And so now this will take 10
Let's
seconds
see
for
what
it to
it
go
does.
through the whole animation, which is probably excessive. Yeah, that's way too slow. Yeah, let's just adjust this while we're going a little bit.
Oh.
Let's do...
Did you do that real time? Oh,
Yeah,
you
can
are
do
doing
it
that
real
time.
time.
I love you. Real time.
Yeah. And it's kind of bumping at the end. I'm going to fix that real quick, too. I like point... Let's do 0.2. 0.2 seems good. So I'm going to remember that. Actually, it remembered it for me. God, it's the things that it saves and doesn't save, it just still boggles me sometimes. So now we have a appropriate moving platform. Now, you'll notice that it
How do you
smooths
slide on
nicely
the
at the
bump?
end, but it bumps when it hits the left-hand side. So let's fix that real quick. If we go into our animation here and choose curves, and then click on our position X, the reason this bumping is because it's smooth at the top because it automatically smoothed these, but at the bottom, when we're looping, you can see that it's got this straight
spike.
angle.
Yeah.
And we can fix that just by right-clicking here and choosing flat, and then right-clicking on the other side and choosing flat. And that'll flatten out our and smooth it out the same way that the top one smooths.
No more death bump.
So now it should
So many people
so
could
now
have
it should look
died.
like it's cruising, and then it slows down, and then stops, and then starts speeding up again. Much
We're
much
back
nicer
into
looking.
Mario Castle. Yep.
So
That is nice. How much are you moving on there? You're moving while
moving
you're
a little
moving
bit.
now.
Moving a little bit.
While you're moving.
We need to fix
Not
that
even
at
at
some
the
point.
ends.
Wonder why.
He likes Michael Jackson.
That guy does look like a little moonwalker.
He's moonwalking. Oh, if we could make that game again. Love that arcade game.
Actually, we could make him a moonwalker right now by just changing the move left and right to flip him at a different time.
We should add that later as a special move. Give him sparkles.
So like we could just go like this, put the negative there. I'm gonna put this back. Don't worry, folks. And then all of a sudden
I
we've
do
got a
want to see a
little.
moonwalk. I do want to see a moonwalk.
Wait, he didn't moonwalk. I didn't do that right.
Great. He doesn't have to moonwalk though. It's not imperative. Just got me excited.
Would have
for the
expected that
arcade
to work.
armor. What? You just deleted one
Oh,
thing. And
I know why it didn't work. Because that's not the script that we're using.
Oh,
I'm going to put this back real quick.
yes.
We're using we've rolled this stuff into the player character script, so it's actually in here that I need to change. Boop and boop. Save. And now he moonwalks. Ow! How do you like him?
Oh, instant moonwalk.
Instant moonwalk.
Oh my god! I just see a special move coming about from that. That's just so awesome.
Even jumps backwards.
That's awesome. Does he move a little slower? Does he have a more faster momentum moving forward? God,
No, it's the same.
you didn't get
It's
that
the same.
deep.
I didn't change.
Okay.
I didn't change anything
That's
except
awesome.
for made it so that he flips the wrong way. That's all that I did.
That's still
And it's amazing
pretty
how
sweet.
different that feels already. So,
Pretty sweet. Yeah, it did. It
but yeah,
felt
we
like
got a little moonwalker. Maybe we could have a moonwalk modifier. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
like a
have a
special
button.
move, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he starts sparkling, and he can like moonwalk in the air and like moonwalk a little faster. He's a little invincible. I'm just thinking.
So the reason that we're not seeing the other platform to bounce onto, by the way, is because these things are actually
Far
in
right.
phase right now. So if we go back into the scene, you'll see that it kind of flies away from it. And we fixed that before by changing our moving platform to actually start at a different phase, which we can do here as well. So if we get a moving platform and choose this, we can actually make... Oh, wait, no, sorry, it's in the animation. So if we go to block, platform, move right, we can do the cycle offset to 0.5, and it will start at the end. And now we might actually have a chance of jumping to that platform. I'm not guaranteeing that we can make it, but there's going to be a better chance
I'm
than we
not
had
looking
before.
for the bank
So
here.
now if I
either.
go in here...
I'd be
like-
happy if it comes back.
There it is. Oh, I missed it.
That is.
But there was a
just-
chance. There was a chance.
Are you sure there's a chance right there?
All right, I'm going to make it. I'm
I
going to
don't
do
think
it. That's
you
a
can.
challenge. That's
no,
a
I'm
challenge.
serious because like it looks like a death
I can make
drop.
that. I can make that.
I mean, it cuts just before you get there. It's got an illusion of it. All right.
Like a
all
pro.
right. Well done, sir.
Like a
Well
pro.
done. Okay, so back to it.
You just have to really jump early. Like
was-
if
it
you jump
had
when
a
it's at
good
the
optical to it.
other end, then you're done.
I like that.
So, did we have any questions?
Previously, there was a little bit a while ago here. We had some questions and comments here. So you had answered the batching and optimizing.
So nothing's standing out. So,
At the moment, but if you guys do have any questions, feel free to post them. We're updating here every 15 to 25 seconds because we're on my ghetto box on the right.
oh, is
side
it not
there.
auto updating for you for some reason?
Oh,
it's not.
yeah, it's okay though. It doesn't
Being
matter.
stupid.
It's close enough.
Blame YouTube. Don't blame your box, man. That's YouTube's
I
fault.
know. I do play some. It's a nice little
So,
special.
oh, for a second there, I'm like, it's 9:30. It's time to quit already. How did this happen? I'm like, oh yeah, we started at 9, so we got another 30 minutes.
At least
So,
I don't see Bowser at the end of this yet. You need to keep working here,
see
buddy.
Bowser at the end of this.
Come on.
I love that. I love that answer.
Sorry.
All right, let's make this into a game. Why not?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just,
Let's
it already tastes good. It's got a little flavor to it. It's got a nice little flair, little bits. Brain says it's not done yet.
all right. Let's see. Let's see what we can do.
Can you give me a box with a circly fire? At least, no, I'm just kidding.
You want some fire sticks? Let's make a
I
fire
want a
stick.
fire stick.
Let's make a fire stick.
Can
Why
we get
not?
a box with
Let's
a
get
fire stick? At least I'll feel like we had. I
What
mean,
do we
like
have?
we
What do we
bootlegged
have
a
in
little
these
bit.
sprites that we can use as a fire stick?
Want to use my Oni fireball? Just kidding.
Yeah. P1 sprite sheet. Enemies. Maybe there's some sort of fire.
Are you in
That guy looks
freebie stuff
angry.
right now?
Yeah, this is all freebie stuff.
Oh yeah, we should make one of those guys spin and put your sun
My son.
thing on
Yeah,
it.
no.
Your sun texture, polygraph, whatever. Not polygraph. What polygraph?
I like polygraph.
That's nice. Can you put your polygraph on it? Yeah, I'll put a little polygraph on a little lie detector test. You bet. It's flaring up like the sun.
Oh, screw it. We'll just do it. We'll ghetto rig it. Let's create a new.
Can you just make tiny ones of your big sun?
material.
God, that would be expensive.
And I'm going to call this Fireball. And we'll just use the built-in default particle as the texture. We'll make it... I'll use particle additive. Why not? That'll be appropriate. And let's create a cube. Actually, no, a quad.
I'm a cube.
Throw the fireball on it.
Ooh, rooster illusion.
Then let's
Oh.
make the fireball nice red, orange.
So you just have to do
yellow
the
color.
ooh, nice. The copy paste thing you were doing there with the bricks earlier to
Yep.
maybe make a.
And then we're going to create a prefab of this. I'm going to call this fire stick component. This in prefabs. Now this would be, of course, a perfect case for nested prefabs. Unfortunately, we're not going to have such a nicety.
What is a nested prefab?
Well, we don't have them, but basically we can't. If you put a prefab in a prefab, it becomes a different prefab, and so if you edit the original prefab, it doesn't update in the sub prefab.
That's a nice trick.
And that's something that it would be a nice trick if it actually did it, but it doesn't. So, yeah. So
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
A little frustration on that.
So let me. So we're going to change the collider here. We don't want a mesh collider, definitely. That's the way it defaults to. That's so dumb, but whatever. We're going to make it a physics 2D box collider, and then actually no, let's not make it a box collider because it's actually circular. Let's make it a Let's make this thing into something.
You're going to make it kill him.
I'm going to kill this little guy.
It's going to have little things.
All right, so physics 2D circle collider is what we want. And the reason we want a circle collider is because this looks like a circle, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than the visible area so that you feel like you got away with something when you get close to it, but otherwise you're going to get hit. So let's just make it even.
Coco went there on kind of a old school, kind of new school Street Fighter question, putting in something about how you would make something like a taunt button. Whereas the player would be animated into a Michael Jackson slide animation.
All right, well, we're
kind of like Dan's Yoo-hoo!
We're already
in Super Street Fighter
actually
4 Arcade Edition.
Doing that right now. If you go onto our player here, when we jump, we're doing exactly that. Now, our jump animation happens to be just one frame.
Okay.
But if we made it more than one frame, it would work. So here, let me show you. So the jump animation right now, if we look at our jump, which is under animations, I think. Jump. Here we go. So our jump animation, this isn't showing me the data that I want to show. I want to actually see it in the animation view.
Go deeper.
Double click this. Does that do anything? No,
find the goods.
So let's click on the player, switch to jump, and we look at the sprite here, and it... Wait. Why does this not have anything in it?
Jump?
Hold on. What the heck? Oh, wait, dope sheet. There we go. Okay, so the sprite here, we have just one frame, and it lasts a second, but we don't even care about that at all because it just changes to that frame, and then when we get out of that state, we change out of the frame. But if we had multiple frames, and I'm just going to use this as an example, so this isn't going to look right.
It's all right.
We could put, like...
in example, it could be the taunt.
Yeah, I'm just going to grab some random frames from him and just throw them in here. So he'll do that, and then he'll do that, and then he'll do something like this.
Granted, I know where Coco's going. That looks a little bit more like a
So now if we hit play right now,
it's gonna be
and jump. See how he did that little animation?
That's cool.
So he did that animation already. So the functionality that we're using to do that is the player's animation controller, which is right here, which is still named P1 Sprite Sheet 14. I'm going to change that to player so that we know what it actually is. And with looking at the built-in character controller and how it handles platforms, help fix the dude's jittering. The jittering is not anything to do with the animation system, I can guarantee that. It has something to do with his actual position as we're changing it.
So it would be more camera-related?
Okay. Well, I mean, there might be a camera jitter as well. There may additionally be a camera jitter, but...
multiple options.
But and actually, we didn't notice the jitter so much before because of the fact that I think we did notice on the last episode, but we didn't notice as much because we didn't have a platform that you could tell where you were on the platform very easily, because it's very visually hard to tell on just a single flat color what's going on there. So we have this jump, and so when we jump, what we're actually doing is we tell the animation that we're setting jump to true, and so when jump is true, it goes into this flow chart here, and it says, "Oh, jump is true. I'm in the idle. I'm going to go into the jump animation," and then it does the jump animation. And so that's how we're driving the controls. Now you can also additionally just play an animation, but if you're using one of these controller systems, I recommend keeping it all inside the controller, so that way.
So that is a tool.
Yeah.
That animator tool.
Yeah, the animator
is
built in.
Showing you the flow chart.
Yeah, this is like you had to work with this a little bit over at the Sony
What did James
folks.
make this?
Yeah, practically. Now,
Okay.
James had zoom on his. I wish I could zoom in, and now I can't zoom.
Oh, where he had
so-
like the animation in the
I
box.
just zoomed in. Actually,
In
that's
the
kind of cool. I
box.
can bring it full screen. That's nice.
That's how'd you do that?
I did one of these
What's
little
that
pinchy
short?
things.
Oh, you're on Apple.
Yeah, I'm on the Apple.
I should
I'm
be
pretty sure you can hit.
marrying-
I'm pretty sure you can hit space on it, and it'll do it.
Oh, I'll find it later.
Maybe.
Oh, I need that. Well, actually, I need that one. Yeah, I want that
I
one.
swear there was space
We will
at one
make
point.
a fighting game. It will happen. Stick fighting or us.
Double tap it. I don't know how you make it full screen if you don't have that. That's stupid. I thought it was space before.
Double tap.
Huh.
Zombie Lane. Double tap.
All right. So that's how you would handle that animation thing. Let me fix up the player animation again. I'm just going to undo through until we get to the animation changing stuff.
I want a
Maybe.
full-on Dan taunt, like Yahoo! Oh, sorry.
It's not
With
happening,
an
is it?
access button. Moonwalk button.
What am I undoing?
But think of the points you could do with a taunt button as an actual gameplay button.
Okay, I'm concerned. I'm redoing everything.
Careful. Whoa! Why is that it going? Bunkers.
Because it wasn't undoing what I wanted it to undo, and I'm not sure what it actually was undoing, so let's just delete these manually.
That's a good idea.
Delete.
Granted,
delete.
I liked his little twitch while he was jumping, for the example. Couple extra frames in there.
So let's see if we can fix the sliding around problem. Let's see if we can identify what that is and make it so that we don't slide
On your platform
so much
when
on
you're
the
going
moving
back
platform.
and forth? Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to jump onto this platform. I'm going to look at what's going on. So it looks jittery.
Seems weird
Hard
after
to-
you slowed it down.
Tell if it's just jittering relative to the character or the camera. Let's go to our camera here and let's make it so that it does not follow the player anymore. I'm just going to disable this script temporarily. So the jittering may be on the camera, but we also are definitely translating as the character a little bit. We're sliding around a little bit. And it appears to be happening only when accelerating. Does he stay in the middle when it's staying at a constant rate? Here, let's actually test that. We can go to our moving platform, and we can go to the curves. And while
like
it's running, we'll just change these to...
It's got a little bit of Mario Brothers 2 ice stage.
what do we want? Both tangents constant. Wait, no, constant's too much. Linear is what we want. Both tangents linear.
Ooh, and then it would just slide
Both
at the end of each one that
tangents
starts.
linear, and both tangents linear. So it stopped animating for some reason. Probably freaked out because of what I did.
He's
let's
like
try
looking
that again.
around. Poor little
Play.
guy.
So now this is not going to look as smooth anymore. It's just going to bounce right off. But this will allow us to see if it's an acceleration problem or if it's a...
Let's see this. Oh, a little bit at
so
the end.
let me just again
Ooh,
make
that's
the
tighter.
camera not follow. Are you out of here?
No,
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure the cars were still parked.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. But no, I do like how he's just kind of twitching now at the end.
Yeah, let me. Where did my camera go? There it is.
Why is he twitching in the
let's
center,
Make
though?
it so that the
Oh, he's
camera
moving
doesn't follow
full.
anymore.
Full throttle. How'd you tweak the camera?
So it looks
Oh, you
like
told-
he's not moving when. So it is an acceleration problem. I'm pretty sure. Though the camera twitchiness may be an additional problem. So I think there's two problems to solve here. So let's look at the player character. So the reason he might have that acceleration problem is because technically he's moving based on the past acceleration rather than a extrapolation of the past acceleration to the future. And I don't think it would be safe to extrapolate that, so that may be a bug that we might just have to live with for right now. Basically, what's happening here is we're determining what platform we're on, and then we're determining how much it moved since the last frame, and then we're moving the character that much this frame. But we should technically be moving it the amount that it moved. No, that should work. I don't know. But let's see if there's anything obvious. So we're doing it in the late update, so that's good. Transform dot position plus equals current platform delta. Current platform delta is calculated every frame on update. So you would think this would actually always line up properly. Because we have the last platform position that we set. This honestly doesn't seem like it should have a problem on there. Let's see. Let's look at our camera too. Let's start looking at things that we might be able to fix. Camera follow. Let's see what this is doing. It's kind of doing the same thing here, and I'm going to quit this tool. Transform position minus follow object position. So that gets the initial offset, and then it sets the Alright, so this actually might be because the camera jitter is probably due to the fact that we're doing a late update on the camera, which also we're doing a late update on the player character. And so the order of these, if the camera comes first, we'll get a jitter because the camera will follow the player's last position rather than their current position. Let me see if this gets rid of some of the jittering. I'm going to change the script. Oh wait, that'll work. We're going to change the script execution order, and we're going to put the camera follow so that it happens at the end. I'm just curious if this makes the display a little bit less jittery to work with here. So come over here and we jump on our platform. Oh yeah, that's way smoother looking. Now we still have the jitter of when it changes direction. We're getting an erroneous movement, but this is considerably better than it was before. Here, let's just actually confirm that. I'm gonna apply that and then hit play again and see what happens. This actually may not be a perfect confirmation here. Looked like it was jittering a little bit on the... It's kind of hard to tell right now. I see a little jitter there, but now I'm wondering if I'm just going crazy and just seeing things. So let's put the camera follow script on the end here. I'm sure it's really hard to determine from the video you guys are watching, and I'm sorry about that. Play. No, there's still a little jitter there. The reason it's hard to tell is because sometimes when you change the default time changes, it does how it evaluates the scripts, and then if you change it again, here actually let's specifically change it to be slower. Let's specifically put it in lower than default time to see what that does. If that's any worse or any better. It's the trouble with wanting things to work, because sometimes you think they're working when they're not. Okay, you can see that there's some definite pixel jitters on this now, so I do think that does provide us an improvement. But basically, what was happening is occasionally the update was running on that first, and so the player would change position, and then the next frame the platform would pick it up, but the players change positions again at that point. Or whatever is being followed at this point. It still looks like it jitters a little.
Talking about the physics at the end where he just...
Well, the physics at the end is a separate thing. That's another thing, too.
Okay.
That's a definite as well.
You guys have a crazy eye on the jitter. I'm liking the physics on just the little tap at the end. Not a partial little slide.
Yeah, let me put the moving platform back to the way that it worked before. So we're going to set all these to flat so that it has this nice smoothness to it.
I like that.
Flat, and then so this one accentuates the problem of the acceleration problem a lot better because we have an actual acceleration curve, so we'll see this guy sliding all around when it's changing. And actually it's sliding around, yeah, at all the freaking times. So we do need to fix this. But what is the actual problem?
Why is it pushing his physics kind of funky and making him shift side to side?
So we're taking current platform dot position minus last platform position is the platform delta, and then we're adding the platform delta to his position. Could this be due to precision error, or sometimes you run into these little puzzles and you get to try and figure out how to solve them. I suck at jumping. I'm terrible at my game. Who made this game? It's not even fair. Okay, that's why I died, because I was pressing the wrong freaking button. I was pressing Alt or something. Alright. So we got all these slidingnesses. Slidingnesses. I'm curious, if I jump off this platform and fall, do I actually move left and right? Where's the player? I have a feeling that we actually do continue to follow the last platform we were on, but I can't find the player. Where's the player? Come on, actually focus on the player. You
find player. Here, player.
I don't know. Whatever. I think he is. Because we don't
going back
unset
and forth.
the platform you're on unless you hit another platform, I think. So, and that way we make it look... It's good that we do that, because we want him to actually stay on the platform if he jumps while he's on the platform. But it also means that... so, like, if we jump at the end, you would expect him to actually maintain acceleration, but he actually stops with the platform. Whatever. So there's just this slight difference. It only seems to happen when it's accelerating. Maybe... Is there an early update? Unity early update. I'm curious. Is there an early update? Unity answers. This is why I love the internet. So there's no early update. This is the answer to that. You can work around that. Like, what happens if we... I'm just going to try this. I'm just curious. If we instead actually perform this at the beginning of the next frame instead. I think this is probably going to exacerbate the problem, but I'm curious. We're probably going to have like a null reference error the first time this happens. No, maybe not. Let's find out. It looks like that might be worse or the same or just different in a way that doesn't actually help anything.
Did you give him a knife?
Did I give him a knife? No, he doesn't have a knife.
He's running faster.
Happy little...
Everybody runs faster with a knife.
Is he running faster? I didn't notice him running faster.
He was sliding faster with a knife.
God, gotta bring that back. That was a great show.
What are you talking about? You gotta creep. Don't go chasing waterfalls.
All right. I really slid there at one point.
I want those scrubs. Is it getting worse? Is it getting stronger? No, look at it. Wait.
No.
Oh, it's about even both sides. I love his little two-step. Check him out. He reminds me of Gurr from Invader Zim.
Yeah. Alright. Why are we getting this? So the platform moved a certain amount. The character moved nothing yet because we didn't press left or right on the keyboard. And we kept the data on how far the platform moved. That should be this frame, right? Like, or maybe this is checking at the wrong time. Maybe I need to confirm the platform position in late update. Let's try that. So this is our platform position thing. Let's actually throw this into late update instead. Save, hit play, and see if this fixes anything or makes anything slightly better or slightly worse or different in a way that we can't describe.
That's okay too.
Oh ho ho! Win.
Whoa.
That would be a win.
Nice.
That'd be a pure win.
I kinda
Okay,
like that.
so to explain what had happened, we were doing it in an update.
Mm-hmm.
Update is running at an arbitrary time compared to other updates. Late update always runs after all other updates. And so what's happening is the platform was moving after our player was moving. And so we were getting the frame before as opposed to the current frame. And so now that we put it in late update, we're sure that the platform has done its movement. And now does it exactly. And I'm a Llama 81 totally nailed that.
On the ball, sir.
Yes.
Well done.
And so now it's all super happy. So fix a couple bugs, put some tiles in, talked about some animation stuff, showed how TexturePacker works. I would say this is a successful episode.
Hey,
I would say this is a good little episode.
I learned something.
We got a couple of minutes, but I'm going to call it just because I can't think of anything that I can do in 2 to 4 minutes right now, unless there's like a really good question thrown in there.
Let's make a springboard that launches them in the air, and then the camera zooms out.
4 minutes, man.
It
No,
lands.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Thank you. I appreciate it. But we'll do that at some point. Actually,
we almost
let's make the fire stick. Let's do it. Let's just do the fire stick real quick. Okay.
All you need is a block.
So we have.
I'm curious how you're going to make a radius so it spins.
So fire stick component. We're going to do that. This already has our circle collider good. I'm going to apply this to the prefab, and we're going to make a fire stick out of this. So we're going to grab a couple of these, three of these, and go into the editor, look at it, and drag these out. Actually, I'm going to drag them a little bit closer together than that, I think.
That's plenty. Yeah, I like the gap.
5.
Gives it that original feel.
Let's show that this stuff works. So move
Snap to
X 0.5, move Y 0.5. So now we can do half snaps. Let's make all these at 0 just so that we're working from the origin here. I don't know what I just did. 0, 0. All right.
Oh, yeah, no, they're perfect.
And then do another one. We're just going to make a really short fire stick.
Awesome. Just got to stick out a little bit.
Duplicate a little bit more.
It's good.
How long do you want the fire stick?
That's plenty.
All right.
Just enough to kill him.
All right, so
not
fire
impossible.
stick. So I'm going to pick the one at the end here, and we're going to create an empty game object.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to use this one because it happened to go to 0, 0, 0. So since this is
center?
0, 0, 0,
Okay.
we're just going to parent these.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
And we're already done now because if we rotate this along the z-axis...
How do I go?
Wait, no. That's a lie. If we do it along the... Which axis? Oh, that's scale. If we rotate along the z-axis, like I said, look, we got a fire stick.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
We're already pretty much done. So, except for collision and stuff. And actually, I don't think I'm going to handle that today, but we'll make it spin... And we'll pretend that it's very dangerous
Christopher,
for right now, and then
I'm
going to
say 27 miles per hour, sir.
What?
It is the average airspeed of a velocity of an
unladen
unladen
swallow. African or European? I love those movies. So, fire stick component. That is a good question, though. What is the unladen? We have Wikipedia, though. Look that.
I might just Google it.
Let me Google that for you. Just
with the linear movement of the last frame.
Fire stick.
I Am Llama had a pretty cool little statement there. It was kind of fun.
Animation here.
I'm gonna bring this over here.
Rotate.
Snap to
stick.
wall. We had a bug in infrastructure once. People disappeared. Snap to wall.
That was a really good bug, actually.
Where's
that was
Doug?
one of my favorite bugs.
Snap to wall.
We had an animation state that wasn't networked, and when it happened, the person stopped updating on all other
the
machines.
local NPCs,
all the network players couldn't see them, but you
what
could still move around and kill them. So it was a good bug. So at halfway point here, I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees. Actually, I'm going to do 180.1 just so that we're clear. And so, oh wait, but that was the wrong component. Looks like it worked, right? We made a jump rope.
Ooh.
180. And 0.1. I think I want to do it that way. Hopefully that's the way I want to do it. Nope, I want to actually make it one slightly less. So 179.9. Does that work? Nope. Still goes back to 0. So 180. And actually explicitly set the last one to 360. One of these is going to work. Just keep trying it until it works. There we go. So we'll just hit play, and we've got a fire stick.
You made a
really
fire stick.
fast, terrifying fire stick.
Oh my gosh!
It even kind of
yeah.
collides with people, and just generally is a dick to you. So
it should make you bounce like outrageously.
yeah.
Just
So I'm gonna save project, and we're gonna call that a wrap. Anyway,
Chris on Yahoo
oh,
apparently that, and I think they're really going for one of the what is the answers to the question of life.
Yeah.
Somebody said 42.
well, yeah, no,
Just
that's not Monty Python.
It's
that's
terrible.
That's another comedian.
I know
That's,
they really should cross those movies. I'm okay with Bring Your Towel.
So, just a phase. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Hope you guys had a good time. Hope you guys learned some stuff. Hey, this is Eric.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yep. So now you've seen Eric. Now that can never be taken away. You're on the internet permanently, Eric.
It happens.
Yeah,
from
I know.
time to
It
time.
really does.
That's okay. We'll get
So
over it.
thank you for joining us. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully, did you have fun, Eric?
You know, I'd like to do that again sometime.
All right, awesome.
That's all right.
Yeah, you'd be
That was
welcome
kinda fun.
to. I'm
Absolutely.
glad you had a good time. Did you learn anything?
You know, I did.
Awesome.
So
That's
I
good.
like that.
So, thank you for joining us. And if you have any questions, email me at pushypixels@pushypixels.com.
Don't be afraid. Please
And
do.
buy Phil's game, Robot Alone. It's on the App Store for iOS. It's fun. You should buy it. It has
Indeed.
lasers and stuff.
Selfless plug. Please have some.
Selfless plug. That's shameless plug.
Shameless.
Selfless plug. I like that better.
Selfless.
Let's call it a selfless plug.
It's kind of removing yourself from the
Even
equation.
though it's totally a selfish plug, but I
Well,
like selfless better. It sounds better.
It gets past all the good stuff.
That's a nice Tron 2.0 reference, Tron Legacy reference there too. By the way, thank you.
I'm gonna go tap on this guy.
So anyway, you guys have we'll see you on Monday, and Phil should be back on Monday. So,
Definitely, Phil. You can have your seat back, buddy.
Yeah. He's just warming it up for you.
Just keeping it warm.
And thank you, Eric, for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. We'll do it again.
You guys have a great
Good
week.
night, everybody. Thank you again.